It was crazy, entertaining work at that particular time. So I said, you know what? I like this kid.
The one thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it.
Floyd Mayweather was reportedly stunned after watching Terence Crawford's leaked training footage ahead of the Canelo fight. Sources say Mayweather was impressed by Crawford's speed, footwork, and sharp combinations, acknowledging that Crawford looks more prepared than expected. The footage sparked renewed interest and speculation around the high-stakes showdown.
That we can't overlook. You never overlook any opponent. We can't base everything just off.
Jeff Mayweather, a respected voice in boxing, has publicly acknowledged the magnitude of Terence Crawford's abilities. While reflecting on Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, Jeff hinted that a victory might open the door to an even more legendary matchup. He noted that Floyd Mayweather, despite being 48, is still in phenomenal shape and hinted that if Crawford truly shines against Canelo, the demand for a fight with Floyd could become undeniable. The idea is not entirely implausible, considering Crawford's hunger for greatness and Floyd's legacy. Jeff's statement added fuel to the already intensifying spotlight on Crawford.
I mean, of course, if he gets past Canelo, he can fight as many bums as he wants to, just to make the record.
Do you think he would do that, or do you think he would?
I don't know. He seemed like he's a class act, and he seemed like he'll do whatever he feels. But I don't know. I mean, at what you said, 37?
37, yeah.
37. Yeah, that's still a lot of fights though.
Yeah, so he'd have 40. So he'd still need 9 more to pass him. After that, and the way people fight these days.
Everybody acting like Bud is the second coming of Mayweather. Y'all got the game fucked up. Mayweather actually didn't get hit. Bud gets hit by dudes that, like, who on Bud's resume is an equivalent of someone on Floyd's resume? So that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd not getting hit by elites, Bud getting hit by non-elites, and somehow y'all think Canelo not about to touch him.
Throughout his career, Terence Crawford has found inspiration in the blueprint Floyd Mayweather laid down, one that extends beyond technical excellence to include financial independence and brand control. Their interactions are not just ceremonial. Crawford has implemented the wisdom he's gleaned from Mayweather into his own path. From training nuances to mental discipline, Crawford has mirrored elements of Floyd's style while forging his own dominant identity. The respect is mutual, and the exchange of knowledge between them symbolizes a torch being passed, not through retirement, but through shared principles and relentless dedication.
Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll be this. Never. That's some hating type to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
When Floyd Mayweather faced a young Canelo Alvarez in 2013, he gave the world a masterclass in defensive strategy and control. That performance wasn't just a win, it was a statement. It exposed the gaps in Canelo's game at the time and set a bar for excellence. As Crawford prepares to face Canelo, the echoes of that bout reverberate through every prediction and analysis.
Canelo was 23 with 43 fights and 30 knockouts, and the world said he was inexperienced. I was 36 with 40-something fights, and to tell you the truth, I was over the hill.
In a pointed remark, Floyd Mayweather raised eyebrows by revisiting long-standing speculation around Canelo's past drug testing controversies. Without naming specific substances, Mayweather questioned the double standards in boxing discourse. His statements reignited conversations about performance enhancement in the sport and emphasized the need for transparency and fairness, especially as Canelo heads into a high-profile bout with a smaller but elite-level opponent like Crawford.
But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. They don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
Mayweather offered more than praise. He delivered a playbook. Recalling his bout with Canelo, Floyd underlined how finesse, not force, dismantles power. He stressed timing, ring IQ, and adaptability as crucial elements. In his view, Crawford's cerebral approach aligns with what's needed to win against Canelo. Mayweather believes that Crawford's mental sharpness, when matched with precise execution, gives him a genuine shot, despite the physical disadvantages.
Terence Crawford jumping up from 154 to 168 and beating this quote-unquote version of Canelo Alvarez would diminish the accomplishment that Floyd Mayweather accomplished beating his version of Canelo Alvarez. Is it two different versions of Canelo Alvarez? And obviously, Canelo Alvarez is 62 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is obviously bigger. When Floyd fought him, was at 152. Mayweather was 36, 37 years of age. Terence Crawford is 36, 37 years of age, going on 38. So he'll be 38 when he fights Canelo Alvarez. Floyd had already had 2 fights at 154. He had the fight with Miguel Cotto, and he had the fight with Oscar De La Hoya.
Canelo Alvarez still commands immense support, particularly from fans who admire his national pride and past dominance. However, signs of decline have surfaced. His recent performances lack the explosiveness of his prime, and critics have pointed out diminishing speed and mobility. On the other hand, Terence Crawford appears to be in peak form, with agile footwork and sharp reflexes intact. The contrast between Canelo's gradual decline and Crawford's continued ascent adds an intriguing dimension to the narrative.
After last night, I think Canelo versus Crawford is a much closer fight than I originally thought, although I do still favor Canelo to win. When this fight was first being talked about after Crawford beat Madrimov and Canelo beat Berlanga, I thought Crawford had around a 10 to 15% chance. I mean, he looked undersized at 154, barely got past Madrimov, and I thought Canelo would be too big, too powerful for him. But you look at Canelo last night, he's declining every single fight. I mean, his volume in the first few rounds was non-existent. He struggled to cut off the ring. He doesn't throw as many combinations. His speed is slower. He hasn't gotten a knockout in 4 years. And that's nothing against Canelo. He's been boxing for 20 years, but he looks 70% of what he used to be in his prime. Whereas Crawford, he's got solid counters, and he can definitely bang some rounds. Now, the reason I do still favor Canelo is Bud hasn't fought at 160 or 168 pounds. You know, he's moving up 2 divisions. He's going to be out of the ring for 13 months. And we just saw Ryan and Haney look extremely rusty off a layoff a couple of days ago. I'm sure that ring rust will affect Bud as well. And not to mention, he is 37 years old. But if I had to make an early prediction, I think this is a 7-5 Canelo type of fight. Originally, I had Canelo steamrolling Bud in 8 to 9 rounds. But this is a lot closer than I initially.
Crawford isn't entering this bout to mimic anyone else's strategy. While fighters like Golovkin tested Canelo's chin and Mayweather outboxed him, Crawford's unique blend of ambidexterity and timing offers a new challenge. His camp recognizes that to win, Crawford must implement a tailor-made strategy, one that disrupts Canelo's rhythm and forces him into unfamiliar territory. This fight is not just about winning. It's about innovating and redefining what it takes to conquer a seasoned champion.
How is Terence Crawford going to beat Canelo Alvarez? We need to talk about it. When we look at the guys who've had success with Canelo, we'll look at Bivol, we'll look at Golovkin, we'll look at Floyd, and we'll look at Lara. Yes, I'll throw Lara in there. Why not? I think all these fights are absolutely irrelevant coming into this bout. Some of them are just dated, or some of these guys' style just cannot apply. For example, a guy in Lara. If Crawford wanted to fight how Lara fought Canelo, he would probably gas out in 7 rounds, or if he made it 12, he just wouldn't get that decision. It's that simple. Let's take a guy in Golovkin. Crawford just simply does not have the punching power, nor do I think he has the gas tank at 68. He's not a good enough puncher to try to fight Canelo like Golovkin. He doesn't have the physical traits, even in the chin department. Then you have Floyd Mayweather. While both can have a bit of similarities, the speed, reflexes, technical prowess, counter-punching, lateral movement, it's just too much from Floyd. I don't think Bud could take much from Floyd's game plan to implement it into his own success in September. And then you have Dimitri. The speed, the technical prowess, the IQ, the length is too much. So essentially, Terence Crawford is going to have to beat Canelo in a way that nobody has ever beaten him or gave him any issues in. I'm going to tell you exactly how Crawford's going to fight. He's going to fight like his damn self. It's too late in his career to change up the game plan. It's too late in his career for him to want to change up the game plan coming to a fight of this magnitude with a style he's never fought before. That will be a recipe for disaster. He's going to be more than likely off the back foot. He's going to be looking for counter shots. And I think there will be a point in this fight where he's simply just trying to survive.
Footage from Crawford's camp reveals meticulous preparation. The jab is central, not just as an offensive tool, but as a mechanism to manipulate distance and pace. By switching stances and maintaining fluid motion, Crawford confuses opponents and limits their counters. His sparring partners simulate Canelo's pressure style, and Crawford's success in these sessions shows his capacity to adapt in real time, a critical advantage against someone as methodical as Alvarez.
Watch the right hand for the decoy.
Y'all know chess?
Nice.
That's how Star work. You know how to work. You know how to get the most out of everything. Good job, champ.
Crawford's camp isn't just focused on skill. They're projecting confidence in his mental fortitude. His coach made it clear that toughness isn't measured by weight class alone. Crawford has shown time and again that he thrives when counted out. The warning to Canelo is simple. Don't misjudge Crawford's heart. He's built for battle, and no challenge intimidates him.
The one thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it. It ain't about no belt. It ain't about nothing. You didn't sign the contract. We want to win, and he want to be the best, and he is the best. So that's what's going to be the difference. You know, Crawford got guts. He got a fighting spirit. So when you see Crawford, he going to go in there and get busy with Canelo. Don't you even doubt that. You understand? You ain't never seen Crawford stay on the back foot in no fight in his life. You understand? He the type of guy to go get you. So expect him to go get him. We going to do everything we can to him. We going to do whatever we got to do. But one thing you can expect is Crawford is going to step to him. Because you can't beat Canelo going on the back foot forever. You got to go get him. You got to do something. And he better know Crawford is coming.
Oscar De La Hoya, speaking from experience, questioned the legitimacy of the matchup. His concern lies in the weight jump. He highlighted that even when skills match, physics often prevails. According to De La Hoya, the financial appeal may be overshadowing competitive integrity, and that could put Crawford in a perilous position against a naturally bigger opponent.
William who? Canelo versus William Skull. William who?
Oscar being back in New York over here.
No, let's just say Canelo Crawford, in the history of boxing, and this is the facts.
Let's get it.
If you see Thursdays, Fact Thursdays, I speak the facts. All right, I'll even do it for you. A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it. Yeah. But Crawford doesn't rely on his power, he relies on his IQ. Crawford, what he did to Spence was magic, was incredible, was amazing. And so, look, one thing about Canelo is that we all know that he walks in the ring as if there's wet cement, right? His footwork is a little too heavy. Crawford is such a smart fighter where he can he's like Bruce Lee, literally. and he's in his peak, he's in his prime, and so I think that if that fight ever happens, which I don't think it will, if that fight ever happens, I have to go with Crawford.
There you have it, Oscar De La Hoya talking about Crawford.
Juan Manuel Marquez echoed similar concerns, referencing the protective intent behind boxing's weight classes. His argument is grounded in safety and fairness, pointing out that even with Crawford's pedigree, the risk of moving too far above his natural weight is significant. Marquez views the matchup as a potential overreach.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean? You know?
Right, weight classes.
You know what?
Right?
Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes for and Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks with no power. And three more divisions, two more divisions. I think it's a top fight for Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination of punches, but I think the weight class is no good for him.
On the more optimistic end, Caleb Plant offered a nuanced take. While acknowledging Canelo's size advantage, he emphasized Crawford's capacity to think his way through a fight. According to Plant, Crawford's ring intelligence and diverse tactics could neutralize some of the physical disparities, making this less of a mismatch than it appears.
Terence is not a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? He's special. And, Canelo, he's a top-notch fighter, world-class fighter. Still on the pound-for-pound list, I'm sure towards somewhere near the top. And it's exciting. Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox, southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, close range, outside. And he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a big question mark on the end of it, though. So that's why, I'm sure all of us are excited for that bell to ring and, be able to find out firsthand.
William Skull kept his comments brief but acknowledged that the event has captured global interest. His proximity to Canelo in the ring gives weight to his words, and his recognition of the stakes reflects the magnitude of what this bout means, not just for Crawford and Alvarez, but for the sport as a whole.
Well, I really have nothing much to say. Boxing is like a Pandora's box, so it's about to wait and see.
For Crawford, this isn't just a payday. It's a mission. He understands what this victory could mean for his legacy. Facing the most commercially powerful figure in boxing presents a rare chance to etch his name into history. Confident in his preparation and vision, Crawford is entering the ring not just to win, but to make a lasting statement.
What's the biggest fight in boxing?
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there, so that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see. Come 12.
Everyone's talking about the weight differences. What's your kind of response to that, Terence?
That's why we fight the fight. So September 12th, we all going to see if the weight going to make a difference or not.
Do you want to fight him twice and then retire? Is that kind of the ideal thing for you?
One fight at a time. One fight at a time.
Trainer Joel Diaz weighed in with caution, pointing to Canelo's track record against naturally larger opponents. He suggested that Crawford, no matter how technically skilled, may find his punches less effective at super middleweight. For Diaz, the concern is simple. Power translates differently across divisions, and Crawford must prove his punches can still command respect.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next